been listening to
Mm.
your music for ages, so it's really weird. Like in a good way, you know what I mean? It's
Mm.
sick to have
Nah,
you
100,
on.
100. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and literally all those tunes, Big Boya,
Mm.
and My G, and all of those tunes I'll bang back in the day, and it was very inspiring for
Respect.
me. The thing that stood out about you for me is your flow. It's very snappy, very unique. So that's what I
Yeah, man.
remember.
I put in the work now, everything's grinding. All from speaking my mind and barring. My name's Coco, your name's Jarvin. Not so me begin at the game from morning. Real life is a movie that I star in, based on a true story you can't par
So
it. Might see
just
me
to
at
start
stage
off,
show
man,
when time
how are you doing?
Yeah, bro, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Obviously, we're all going through it right now in terms of, the world's at a standstill, so to speak, we're in a pandemic. But can't complain, bro. I've got my home set up. I can make music wherever I am, wherever I can go. So I'm just grateful for me. If I didn't have music, I genuinely, it sounds very cliche and corny, but I don't know what I'd be doing from. So I'm just happy that I'm able to, still create music, man.
And how's the lockdown affected you creatively? Because for some people, it's been okay. For some people, they say that they're lacking inspiration at the moment.
Yeah, man, it's had its moments, man. It's had its moments where I've not been able to do nothing on certain days, just because like when you're on your phone or you're seeing news, it's just constant negativity. Do you know what I mean? So that can definitely play a part in not being able to unlock certain areas of creativity in your head. Um, but at the same time, that's not necessarily a bad thing because creativity should come naturally anyway. So if that's the case, and that's the case, I wake up tomorrow and see what else happens. See if anything else comes that's better of the day, or in my brain. So it's all good, bro. You take it as it comes, in it. You get me?
I was really surprised pleasantly by your project, A Different Side of Me. It is very
Thank you,
much a
bro.
different side of you. I noticed that you mentioned your family and you mentioned quite a lot, and you were mentioning how it's difficult to talk about your feelings and the importance of that. So, what
Yeah, yeah.
prompted you to make that project?
I didn't make the project with like the project in mind. I already had like tracks lying around, kind of. The only two tracks that I didn't have since coming back to Sheffield was Big Like Before and Alone with Thoughts. So I'd formerly lived in London until the start or just after the start of the pandemic, and I'd recorded many times, and Can't Quit in London. So there weren't no particular consciousness in terms of I'm going to make this EP. It was just a collection of tracks I'd been doing anyway. You get me? And then I thought these collection of tracks could go together on some sort of compilation. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm just going to make an EP. Um, the reason why it's called A Different Side of Me is literally because it's a different side of me. It's not what you'd usually hear from Coco on a usual release. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I thought these tracks need to be heard, and a lot of people were telling me, the experimenting thing you're doing with the vocals and stuff. I've always done that behind closed doors, and sometimes might leak a little bit of melodic stuff on certain tracks, but not in terms of a full body of work. So I thought, you know what? I feel like it's just time for me to release this side of me. You get me? And I think a lot of it is to do with like the times we're in, the pandemic, mental health, everything. Like I felt like it was a bit more of like a diary, so to speak. You get what I'm saying? So I thought, let me just release this and see what the people think. And it just felt good to get it off my shoulders, man. You get me?
I think it was so sick because it was very emotionally intelligent and aware.
Yeah.
Because it's true, I've very much connected with the fact that um, yeah, it's difficult, especially for men, to talk about their feelings. I think, and it's very
Hmm.
important
Hmm.
to let it out.
Yeah,
For
yeah, yeah.
example, when I myself have put out emotional tracks, I feel like it's a weight off my shoulders, man. So
Yeah, of course. Music's therapy, innit, man? That's how I see it anyway.
very
Expression. You get
therapeutic,
me?
very therapeutic. And it's interesting that
Definitely.
you released it during this time where obviously
Mm,
mental health is much more of a prominent issue.
yeah. No,
Um,
100%, bro.
Obviously, we all know you can shell as well, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was sick
But
to
this
hear.
is this is the angle I wanted to come at as well, like, because I've said that a few times to people, like to my friends and like in interviews, like everyone knows Coco for being like the grime MC or the bread who's got a fast flow, or you get what I'm saying, the punchline guy kind of thing. So I just thought, yeah, let me just try something new. And you know what? Not even just to give the fans something else. Just like for me as well, man. Like as an artist, I think if you are a real artist, as much as you're gonna have your niche and your sound, I think it's good to delve into different things and dabble in different sounds and different emotions, because you know that's an artist, and you might shock yourself, you know. So I thought I'd do it, man.
And did you find that the creative process for that differed from your other tracks where it's more shelly?
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, in terms of like the way I approach songs, 100%, because when it comes to writing a 16 bar, that's just like, I don't know, it's just normal. I mean, to write a six is normal. To write a six flow is normal because I've done it for so long and so many times. But like approaching a song with like vocals is slightly different to me. Even well, it's not different to me. It's going to be different to everyone else that's not heard me do it. But I'm always singing, like whether it be in the shower, whatever. I'm always singing, and you know, my mum used to play so much music, like R&B and stuff. Like, so I've always had that embedded in me, to a degree. I've just never released it as an artist. You know what I mean? I'll showcase that kind of format. But yeah, I don't think it didn't change too much in terms of like my musicality. But in terms of like, yeah, the format and the structure, I guess so, yeah.
And so, where are you from?
I'm Sheffield born and bred, bro.
hmm What was it like in Sheffield for you growing up?
It was sick, man. It was sick. It was sick. Again, bro, music was just like from, I'd say, let's have a look. From, I'd say about 13, 14 onwards, it was just music. Before that, just an innocent kid, you know, playing football, being out with friends, just, you know, like just a normal kid's life, you know what I mean? Just a normal young boy's life, really. Nothing too extravagant or anything out the ordinary. I wasn't a bad kid. I was quite a good kid. But yeah, like I said, from like my teenage years onwards, it was just straight music. So that was just always my focus, bro. Like literally, I touch on it a little bit in Alone with Thoughts. Like sometimes, like my focus weren't on what I should have been on schoolwork and that, because music was just so in my brain. You get what I'm saying? And that's something that I loved. And when I discovered music in terms of making it, like yeah, bro, that was just my tunnel vision, just music.
Yeah,
So
because
yeah,
I
man.
noticed you said that you had potential, but you didn't apply yourself, which I found
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. I was always on my reports. It was always like Leon's got potential, but Rara gets distracted or whatever like that. Just like, you know what I mean. So it is what it is, isn't it, man?
So, what
Respect,
was it
bro.
that first prompted you to get into music?
Making music.
Yeah, man.
It would have been like I said, around I think it was 13, 14. I was in year 9, and another fellow artist from Sheffield called Skins. He approached me one time in school. And he told me about a new crew that had been formed, which consisted of some of my friends anyway, and himself, called Youth Camp. And one day I just went to the studio, and it was just like being with the man. There were some people I didn't know, and obviously a couple. Let me think. There was one, two, yeah. There was 4 of us from my school. Me, Blitz, Skins, and GT. Rest in peace. From my school. So it was just like being with a man them, just in a someone's house with other guys, older guys, and it was just about making music, man, like literally. And I went there a couple of times, you know, and I just started writing lyrics or learning how to write lyrics and putting lyrics together and learning about flow and stuff, and just from there, bro.
And so,
Mm.
was there a point for you where it clearly started to become serious?
Yeah, 100%, bro. In terms of it being serious to me, would have probably have been. It was always serious to me, you know what I mean? But like serious would have. I mean, there's been different stages, man. Because serious is probably when I moved to London, where like my career took off in terms of more people outside of Sheffield know who I was. Sorry, but like I'm not serious to me. Probably me and Rems, really. You know what I mean? Like because you've come was known around Sheffield, but me and Rems always had like a bigger buzz as a duo, and I think we did a lot more. being together, like performing at Plug, supporting JME, supporting Chipmunk, Tinty Strider, putting out mixtapes as a duo, having success with them around Sheffield, like the songs getting sent around Sheffield on phones and stuff. Like that's where I think that's where it really started, where people knew Coco. You get me? And then obviously I did my own thing after that at some point. Oh no, before that was M3, and then I did my own thing after that. Yeah.
And how did you feel when you started to realize that people were really clocking on?
Felt sick, bro. It felt good, man. Just to know that people are liking something that you're putting together, liking the art that you're putting together, because you make art, you don't even have to like it. Someone will always take to what you're doing, but to get the reception that we got was mad. And obviously at the time we're just making music, you know what I mean? Like we're just making music, but we did want to get a lot of people on our side, and we wanted people to know we were that. Of course, you get me? Being popular is sick, and especially for a talent, that's even better. You get me?
Yeah, exactly. And just for the people who don't know, what were you saying about M3?
Yeah, M3 was a collective that I put together. So there was Rems and Coco, but then obviously we had a couple of friends around us who were MCs as well, and then I decided to, just create a group called M3, which consisted of about six or seven of us. And yeah, we just made music together, made some good music. Big up Sepe, big up obviously Rems, Combat, Mario was in it at one point, Heke, along with Jerome, formerly known as. But yeah, it was sick, bro. It was sick, man. It was just good to have a little, it felt good to be in control and have our own thing running. You know what I mean? Because obviously before I was part of youth camp, underneath No Excuse, Young Offenders, and then to be able to make my own thing, it felt good, man. You get me?
What was it like being in that collective as opposed to now being on your own?
It was good, man. The only difference is that obviously when I'm recording now, I don't have to have bare man around me, or I make solo tracks. I can still make tracks with them, man. But when you've got a collective, it's like a team, innit? It's like a proper team. So when you're in the studio, you're bouncing off each other, your vibes in, and obviously two heads are always better than one. But it was good. We had a lot of fun times, man, and we also chilled together outside of studio and that anyway. So it was kind of normal. You get me? Good vibes.
What's your usual creative process like?
Obviously I'm a producer as well as an MC, so 9 times out of 10 I'll start making a beat. Sometimes these days I find myself doing that more than writing bars, to be honest, which is mad. But 9 times out of 10 I'll make a beat, I'll vibes to it, I'll try and get it to where I want it to get, and then I'll either think of if I want to put a melodic vibe on it, I'll think of a vocal, or I might think of someone else in mind, or I'll just start writing bars from. It's quite simple, to be honest. Or if I've got some lyrics that I've put in my phone from before, if the beat's right, I'll put them bars on that beat, and then it'll just start the whole process. You get me?
And do you prefer producing or writing bars?
I always get asked this question, and it's as time goes on, it changes. But it's got in terms of preference, it's hard. Now I'm gonna have to say lyrics. I love producing, but lyrics is what got me where I am. You get what I'm saying?
And so just to go back, I was saying before that the thing that made me that very much stood out about you to me, especially back in the day, was your flow. I was very wow, I've never heard a flow like this.
Yeah.
Sick, it's sick.
Respect.
And I guess you don't really realize it as the listener, but as an artist myself, the clarity of it is just so on point as well. Plus the lyrics are sick. And yeah, man. So what do you think it was that formed that flow?
You know what? There's a guy called Lyric who used to be part of Young Offenders / No Excuse. He had a flow that was quite skippy, and obviously being in youth camp and being in studio with them guys, I used to obviously take heed from him because he used to give me tips on how to spit and that. And I don't know, I just liked that. I liked it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it matched my personality or my energy, because I used to be quite a hyper person. You know what I mean? So it might have just fit my character, spitting like that. Do you know what I mean? And just yeah, man, it must have been that, and just hearing other people spit. I don't know. I don't know. The earliest memory I can remember is probably lyric. Um, and yeah, bro, yeah, just being able to just play with it like that, play with it like that. You get me? So yeah.
So do you think you're not so much a hyper person anymore?
Nah, I've grown up. I've grown up. Still. I have my moments. You get me? But
Yeah.
I've grown up definitely, man. Yeah.
And did you always have that flow, or how did it start?
I mean, pretty much, yeah. Maybe not as skipper in the beginning, but I always used to try and test it out and experiment with it on certain things. But I think more as time's gone on, the clarity's got better. The diction's got better, which is mad important when you're spitting quick anyway. You know what I mean?
What are you usually inspired by?
Other people doing well, good music. I might watch a documentary, which yeah, like sometimes seeing other people's creative process inspires me as well. You know what I mean? Because everyone's got their own way of doing things. So I think the main thing that inspires me is just other good music and other good artists. That's the main thing. And I guess just wanting to deliver for the people then, man. You know what I mean? It's when you set like a sort of level or like a benchmark, you don't want to let that drop. So I always aim to be sicker than my last song. You know what I mean? Because I like the reaction from the people. Then I love it, and obviously the support is that's inspiring as well.
Who do you think your biggest inspirations are?
Definitely my parents, without a doubt. The way they brought me up, um, pretty much made me the person who I am today.
In what way?
Uh, just instilling in me that working hard is important. Um, from young, like my mum's always worked hard, my dad's always worked hard. Um, as much as I used to be a little bit defiant, like as I've got older, I've learned the importance of working hard and being resilient and getting your own. Do you get what I'm saying? Like my mum always told me you got to work for stuff and get your own, and you'll be a lot more proud of yourself as we will if it's done that way and acquired that way. Um, Musically, I think Skepta definitely played a big part in inspiration and inspiring me. That even had to spitting clear. That's something I definitely learned from Skepta, like being very clear with your words, um, and just being sure of yourself, man. Being sure of yourself and knowing where you want to go and what you want to do and who you are as an artist. You get me?
When did you move to London, and how did you find that
I
process?
moved to London in 2015, and it was good. I wanted to go there for a second, man. I've been up and down there before I moved anyway, but like I just love London. Obviously, like London is where it's at for music. Well, at least when I moved, that's what was in my head anyway. But it's the capital, innit? That's where everything's going in. So I just thought, you know what? Like I love my home, I love Sheffield, but I feel as though I need to go explore, man, and just like maybe just open a different side to my creativity by being down there. And since moving down there, like the most has happened in my career ever since I moved down there. That, like I said, that's that I feel as though that's when, and a lot of people probably would agree, is that's when things really started taking off for me, and people knew coco on a wider scale than just Sheffield or up north. You know what I mean?
And how did you find it creatively? Did you find that it was different there?
Yeah, 100%, bro, 100%. Being alongside Toddler taught me a lot of stuff. And just like even just walking down the street in London, like it's mad inspiring for me. I'm quite an adventurous person, so like even like when I was going on trains, just being on a train, like and seeing things like not the underground, the proper train, seeing things outside. Like I love traveling and writing. Like I love that, get inspired when doing that. Yeah, London definitely give me a lot of inspiration, man. And obviously because I'm not from London, even more so, like I felt as though I wasn't stuck in a bubble where I had to write about certain things. It kind of gave me a different perspective, you know what I mean?
And what do you think it is about traveling that makes you like writing? Because I've talked about this with artists that I interview. It seems like a
Mm,
very common theme that people like to write when they travel, and it's me as well.
hmm
So what do you think it is?
I think like writing, it's therapy. Like especially if I'm traveling on my own, like it's just time to be alone. There's not much you can do except just wait until you get to your destination. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think you are alone with your thoughts a lot more. And like I said, the scenery, like it, I don't know, it just unlocks a different realm, I guess. I don't know, it's weird.
Did you find it difficult to an extent to release a different side of me? Because, for example, with my ones, right,
Mm,
I definitely found it very difficult with the deeper ones.
right.
I released one, deleted it, and then put it out again, and I was like, it's just gonna take balls of steel.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So, did you find that, or
Nah. With along with thoughts, yeah. Just because I was touching on things that I've never touched on before in my music and talking about certain things. So there was an element of me that was like, I wanted to go a bit deeper, and I was like, nah, this is enough. This is enough. You get me? Um, but the only reason why I was reluctant to release those kind of tracks before is just because, again, it's not my usual. So I didn't know how my fan base would take it. I didn't know if they'd like it. I didn't know if they thought, oh, no, just give us a normal Coco. But, I think if you're a real, true fan of someone and you love their music, if the quality's there, you'll enjoy it regardless. So, and that's been proven. People seem to love it. My fan base seems to love it. So,
what do you reckon about the state of grime right now?
I see that question asked a lot of places, man. Like, I don't know the state of grime. I mean, it depends how you look at it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's some people who still make grime. There's some people who still love grime. There's still definitely a scene for grime. And I've seen loads of MCs going on sets and stuff. Like I did a grime set not long ago with Spyro and a couple of people. I think there's always a question around what's the state of grime, or is grime dead and stuff. And I don't think grime can die as such as long as there's people pushing it. Maybe it's not received on a scale that it might once have been, but that doesn't mean it's dead. Do you know what I'm saying? That don't mean it's dead, because because a lot of people say grime is not just a genre of music, it's the culture. It's like hip hop, innit? Hip hop can't die because there's the culture's still alive. Like I think the grime culture is always going to be alive. You know what I mean? It's urban. It's the streets. It's a form of UK expression. So yeah, the current state of it. I mean, I don't know. I don't really look into things like that too much. I really don't, man. I just make the music I want to make, and that's it, man. I
Yeah,
don't really look.
exactly. That's definitely the right way to look at things. What are your favorite moments from your music career so far?
Ooh, that is a good question. Favorite moments. Definitely going to Jamaica and linking Protege, shooting video with Protege. That's the
Yeah,
first time I've been.
I love that song.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. That's the first time I've ever been to Jamaica, which is my heritage, Caribbean, obviously. Definitely that. I think the first time Toddler took me to Ibiza, and I supported Stormzy at the Murky Festival. No, it wasn't even Murky Festival then, I don't think. I think it was just Stormzy's thing. That was sick because that was like my first time on big stage. That was madness. And what else? Between Glastonbury and Royal Albert Hall, but I'd say Royal Albert Hall just because that's something I would never have expected. Glastonbury was a shock, but the Royal Albert Hall performing with Jamie Cullum, being on TV, etc. That was sick. That was sick.
How did you feel when you were on that big stage, man? Because that must have
What,
been,
Royal Albert Hall?
yeah. Or Royal Albert Hall,
Yeah,
Stormzy, or yeah.
the Royal Albert Hall one was mad, fam. Because anytime I do something massive on stage and stuff, and where you can't swear, I'm always like, don't mess it up. Obviously, that's always the main focus anyway. You don't want to mess up, you get me? But bro, like just that whole arena, that whole setting is very it was quite alien to me, because that's like where a lot of operas performed and other things quite far
Yeah.
fetched from my style of music. So I knew I was going to be judged anyway because of the audience. My parents were there, which was sick for them to see, because I know they would have didn't able to come to all my performances, because obviously I might have been in another country or down in London, etc. So that was a big one. But yeah, it was mad, fam. It was actually mad, fam. And even just meeting Jamie Cullum, fam, like that's mad. Coco and Jamie Cullum on the stage together. That's, you know what I mean? it's mad. So yeah, that was mad. The Stormzy one, the IB for one, that was even sicker because me and Todd recorded Big Bowyer, but it hadn't come out yet. So he's like, do you want to perform it? Test it out for the first time. So that's the first time I ever performed Big Bowyer on stage. And the people loved it. I think there was a couple of Sheffield people there as well. So that was quite a moment still.
Big Boyar's a fucking tune as well, man.
Respect, brother. Yeah, people still message me to. Oh yeah, the remix. Yeah, I forgot about that as well. I forgot about that because I feel like in terms of music wise, my releases, that was the first track that really, you know what I mean, got me out there. We did Target Practice beforehand, but I feel as though Big Boy was like an explosion. I had all the man in the video. I was in Sheffield. Like it was just such a Sheffield kind of sonically sounding track with the bass and stuff. Toddler's big on that stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, man.
And yeah, also Target Practice is a banger as well, man. Finally, would you spit a 16? Could you spit a 16 a cappella for us?
An
Or
acapella, yeah.
yeah, man.
Let me think. Yo, back in the bits, back in my old school zone. Fred Flintstone, honey, I'm home. Man can't rush this, still man can't touch this. MC, I'm a syndrome. Olipa smoke. And when they go on fire like me, there's always Olipa talk. You're not a shot caller, you're chatting like you're a baller, but it must have been FIFA talk. I come from a place where there's no need to talk, especially if man can't do the moonwalk. Real shit, Wagwando. Same on me, everything calm, bro. When I come through, ring that alarm, bro. Chilling ain't gonna get a man far, bro. I know life ain't a joke, and you can't put it on pause, but I'm on flight mode when I draw for the rose. What is?
Jeez, that was hard, man.